Verstappen, poor visibility makes missing the F1 grid slot easy to do. Max Verstappen and other Formula One drivers have sympathized with Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon not lining up correctly on starting grids because of the poor visibility from the current cars. In Bahrain's season-opening race, Alpine driver Ocon was penalized for incorrectly positioning his car in his grid slot. The same thing happened to Aston Martin's Alonso in Saudi Arabia, as the Spaniard was given a 5-second time penalty for starting too far to the left of his box. Verstappen sympathized with Alonso and Ocon because the lack of visibility from the current crop of cars makes lining up for the correct grid spot hard to do. The longer noses, larger tires, and the addition of wheelbarrows on today's cars have had the side effect of limiting a driver's vision even further than was already the case in a typical single-seater. The visibility is just really poor in the car. That is probably the main issue where you end up sometimes not fully correctly in your box, Verstappen said. It is painful when it happens, but it's a bit the same with the white line with track limits. Sometimes you argue, did you gain anything going wide or not, going outside of it? I think at one point we do need a rule. It looks really silly if people start to take advantage of going really left and right, but I don't know what we can do better. Jeddah winner Perez concurred with his Red Bull teammate, explaining there's an element of luck involved in hitting your marks. It's really difficult just to see where you stopped, he said, admitting he even stopped earlier to be on the safe side. In my opinion, I just overdid it and I stopped too early, but you have no idea when you are in the car. You don't know if you went too far behind or too far forward. We need better visibility to be able to come up with a better idea than we currently have it. It's good that there's a rule in place, but at the same time sometimes it's like luck, to be honest, where you position yourself. Mercedes driver and GPDA director George Russell called for common sense as he found Alonso's penalty too extreme. It's incredibly difficult, reported Russell. We're sat so low, and to put some perspective, we only see probably the top 4 or 5 inches of the tire, so you can't actually see the ground itself. We've got these big long yellow lines pointing out. I can't even see the yellow line, let alone the white lines determining your lateral position. It's really, really tough, so that's why I think in this regard we need to show a little bit more common sense. Wolff told to tear up Russell's contract, he'll take swipe at Verstappen's dad. Red Bull dominated in Saudi Arabia with Sergio Perez taking his first win of the season. Toto Wolff has been told to rip George Russell's deal in two, as the 25-year-old will take points away from Lewis Hamilton in a future title battle. Russell has starred since joining the Silver Arrows last season with a string of podium finishes and even securing a win. The ex-Williams star also finished ahead of Hamilton in the Drivers' Championship last season. But F1 pundit Peter Windsor now feels Russell has pushed his luck and should know his place in the team. Meanwhile, Damon Hill has also taken a subtle dig at Jos Verstappen after the Dutchman refused to celebrate Sergio Perez's win in Jeddah. Max Verstappen's dad was spotted in a tense mood while Red Bull engineers were in rapturous celebrations for the Mexican.